back to the Life Experience podcast. I cannot believe it, it's finally on video, like, period. I am so I'm so happy to welcome you guys to a brand new episode. And on this episode, we're going to be focusing on something that's a tad bit different, but it's sort of what we always talk about. I know you guys always hear me talk about the art of letting go and letting go of certain people in our lives, letting go of situations and of our past. But this time, I want to be talking about something that it's so major in terms of like experiencing life within itself, and it's such a major aspect, and it's something that a lot of people tend to struggle with, and that's detaching. Because as humans, we are naturally made to like attach to people, attach to things, because we have this sense of belonging that I feel like I've said in my previous episode before. So because we have this sense of belonging and attaching to things, it becomes so hard to let go of the situations, of those people, and of our past. And I feel like detachment, like, it helps you. And I feel like people have this negative perception and this negative understanding and this perception of detachment. I can really like relate to this because I feel like for me personally, detachment has always come easily to me. In the past, maybe not as much, but I feel like when you're in situations where you're so attached to these individuals, and you see them walk out of your life, you see things happening that basically force them to like move on, like, and move out of your life, and you're just like forced to just sit on your own. And like at the end of the day, through losing all of these people and letting go of the past, you realize that all you have is yourself. And I feel like that's why detachment is such an important aspect that like every human being should attain. They It's so important. I remember saying that I've always been perceived as literally the opposite of who I am, and I've always like done everything in my power in order to prove everybody else wrong, in order to just like say that no, that isn't me, and just sort of defend that. And I feel like that plays a major part in this because I've always been perceived as this cold person who, you know, is not attached to anyone, who like the second I'm not attached to someone, I'm being perceived as this person who's cold-hearted, cold-blooded, and it's like, do you even feel anything? I'm human, literally like everybody else. Of course I used to let most of my attention go to like how people were thinking of me, and I just wanted to change their perception of me so bad. I wanted to do everything in my power. So obviously I associated this perception of me that other people had, I associated it and I thought of it as something negative. And I was like, no, this is actually such a blessing in disguise. If I'm able to detach from other people's opinions, it won't hurt me as much. If I'm able to recognize that people aren't going to see me the way that other people who know me see me and the way that I see me, if I'm able to detach from that, then I won't be hurt. And you place your attachment to these people and to these things, you're giving them your power, because now they have this power in your life and your decisions, where like it's everything that they say, it's your reality all of a sudden. But it's like, where's the facts to prove that what they're saying about you is true? I feel like the greatest way to detach from a situation is to just honestly do this whole thing of like objective versus subjective. Like in certain situations, because we are the ones that like maybe we are the victim, or we play a crucial part in a particular situation with this particular person or situation, I feel like sometimes it can get a bit like rocky, and it may be like a difficult situation for anyone to like sort of like get themselves out of. Because let's say you're in a romantic relationship, you're going to see that person and you're going to perceive that person with all the greatest thoughts and things about them. Like maybe there are things that you don't necessarily like about them, but you don't even realize, because like as people say, love is blind. The more you get closer to someone, the more you develop this emotional connection and attachment to them, which filters out the perception, or like the real perception, or who they really are. So you're not able to actually see who that person for who they are because you're so blinded by all the good things that they provide, all the love that you have for them. It could literally be any person in your life that you sort of put on this pedestal. I feel like the second that you put someone on a pedestal, it's over. When people are in romantic relationships, right, they fail to sort of see the bad within the person, and they have this, that person would never do that to me because they care for me, because they love me, because they do all of these. It's like the second you build that emotional connection with someone, there's no way of like reframing that person's perspective on that person. It's nearly impossible, which is why I always say like it's even like it's useless trying to advise people to leave certain friendships, relationships where it's obviously a toxic environment, but they cannot see it because of that emotional connection with them. I feel like it's so important to see the situation for what it is. And I feel like the reason why I become so detached from situations like very quickly is because I try to put myself out of the equation. Now, you may be asking like, why would I do such a thing when I'm literally playing a crucial role in the pot? This is so vital because it's like the second that you take yourself out, you're no longer going to make emotionally driven decisions, and you're actually going to evaluate and you're going to oversee the situation as a spectator. Like, for example, people outside of your friendship with this person or this partner of yours are going to be able to see the situation for what it is. They're going to know all the facts and, you know, everything. Maybe they don't know the details of a relationship, but from what they can see from the surface level, it's enough to maybe let go of this person or like no longer continue this. But obviously, because you are in the situation and you're overwhelmed by these emotions that you, I think when you're able to like step out of the situation and be like, you know what, I want to see it from both sides, I want to see it for the way that it is, you are able to now make rational decisions, and you won't end up regretting letting go or like ending the situation afterwards. Sometimes the person that you're seeing and the person that you're associating yourself with, or you're surrounded by, you have this perfectly crafted image of them in your head. You don't realize that the energy that you are putting on this person is what makes them special. And I feel like a lot of people also find it hard to let go of people because they're like, oh, but that person means so much to me, they're so special, they so this. But I guarantee you, whatever they can find in that person, they can find within themselves, because everything is a reflection at the end of the day. Giving this person more credit than they deserve when it's all coming from you, that energy is the one that you're supposed to be pouring back to you, especially if the situation isn't serving you. I feel like obviously it would have been a different case if that person was actually pouring into your cup and like you were just helping each other grow in that sense. But when you're with a person who just constantly drains you and the attachment grows, it's going to be harder to let that person go. I feel like a lot of people need to change their perception of detachment. I think, as I said in the beginning, I've always had people come with me with their perception of me saying that I'm this cold person. It's because I realize that if I attach and put my energy and my power and give my power to so many people, it's like, then who am I without them? If you're constantly giving your power to somebody else, like their opinion literally determines your day and your mood. You're giving your power to that person, so whatever that person says is going to drag you down. So don't listen to the people that are saying, oh, because you're detached, you're a cold person. No. But I just want to make it clear that you're never not going to be attached to individuals in your life. It's a natural thing as human beings to be attached to things, to be attached to situations and people. But I think that people just need to learn to cultivate like healthier attachments with people. If this person leaves my life, then I will still be whole. I will still be okay, because I know that that person came in for a reason in my life and now they're out, and that's what it is, and that's what it's always going to be. Because when you start to realize that people come into your life, they literally come and go out in your life, then everything will flow effortlessly in your life as well. I feel like if you're stuck in a situation, if, like, whether that be a friend group or anything, I just feel like with people that, let's say, you're not really close with and whatever, back to the opinion thing, where whatever that person has to say, do not take it personally, because that person is just like literally projecting. People are dealing with their own things, and then everything that they say is projection. So if someone sees you, you know, as this person, you're finally detaching, you're finally taking your power back. And people are going to be telling you like, oh, you've changed, you've become this new person. I used to know her, she used to be this sweet person. But it's like, if you're able to let go of the potential idea of what something could have been, you've saved yourself time, like time. Sometimes we're not even like experiencing these situations at first hand, but because we've planted this idea in our heads, we are not attaching to that idea of like, oh, what could have been. Now we're living with what ifs, which is why I feel like getting out of your comfort zone and taking risks is such a vital aspect in terms of like growth. Because imagine you're stuck in a situation when you're thinking of what could have been, maybe with this situation, what if I accepted that brand deal, what could have happened if maybe I went with that person or I was friends with that person. The second that you're doing that, you're literally putting a pause on your growth. You're stifling your own growth, because now you're putting your energy on something that no longer serves you, something that is literally, it doesn't exist anymore. It's not like in your books, it's not in your destiny. And you could be like literally using that time in order to just grow and flourish and actually just experience new things with new people and just meet new people and be able to form these connections that you've been wanting. And you realize that whatever you were thinking of in the past, whatever these situations that you dreamed of and you wanted, were all like pretty much useless, and you didn't need that. And you're gonna realize that you could have survived without that. Like, you're gonna realize that. But you know how everybody literally says if they didn't go through what they went through, then they wouldn't be where they're at. It's the same with me, it's the same with everybody else. I feel like when you're having regrets and everything, it's like it's such a waste of your time. It's like it already happened. It already happened. There's no going back, there's no returning time. I feel like as humans we have this thing of like, oh, I wish I could turn back time. And like, okay, you can say all of that, but generally you can't. There's no time machine for that. It's like you're wasting your time wishing that you could turn back time and fix the situation, living your life in accordance to your past, which is not even serving you. Okay. So on to the next chapter, which is how you can actually detach from these situations and from these people and from the past. I feel like I've spoken a lot about, you know, how detachment is a waste of your time, and I'm just going to show you like how to actually detach from the situation, so you're no longer stuck in the same place that you were in a year ago or 5 years ago, because that isn't a good look at all. The first one, you need to figure out, why are you so attached to the situation, to your past, or to this person. The first step into growth, into inner work, for you to find the root cause of the problem. If you don't know why you feel a certain way about something, then are you ever going to literally get the result that you want? No. I feel like people just want like solutions to their problems, but it's like, do you even know what the problem is? Do you like, have you even checked the fact that maybe that might not even be the problem and it's probably triggered by something else? Like, you really need to think of these things. Is it because you're afraid of being lonely, so you attach to these people in your lives? Maybe you've lost your individuality, and now it's like, maybe when you've lost those people, you feel like you're nothing without them, or you don't know yourselves without those people like in your lives, because they've been in your life for an X amount of time. Like, you really need to truly like look at the situation and ask yourself, like, why are you feeling this way? Like, why are you still attaching to these things? And really need to dig deep into it, because majority of the time, as I said, these things aren't even serving us, and they will never serve us anything. Number two, Stop giving the situations and these past the time and your attention. Your time and your attention should be like into things that are contributing to growth and success in your life. When you are fixating on something, are you ever gonna grow? Are you ever going to move past from the situation? No, obviously not. And I just feel like whether someone came and literally turned your world upside down and they wrecked you, it's a blessing in disguise. Now, it's not to obviously give credit to the person who did X, Y, and Z to you, who treated you badly, but it's about what comes after that, how you grow as an individual, how you are able to turn that situation into your power. Because I feel like a lot of people, they get comfortable with this victim complex of theirs, and they're like, oh, my mother wasn't in my life, so I am the way that I am because of her. I am the way that I am because I was abused in my family home, like in my household. It's like, okay, so you abused like 20 years ago, but like, what are you gonna do to fix that? What are you going to do to turn that into your power? Because you're part of people define themselves based on their past, and it's like you can be grateful for the things that could have happened in the past, but it's time to move on. It was never meant to be. That friendship that you thought that was going to last up until like you guys are old and gray, it's gone now. Like, I'm sure many of us can relate. It's gone and it's never coming back. And that person brought joy in your life, but at the same time, maybe they didn't bring the greatest moments and they didn't ignite like the best feelings in your life. But it's like it happened, and like as you can tell, your life is moving. They're literally on their own separate life path. And it's like there's nothing you can do about it. It was never meant to be with that person. I feel like if you're constantly thinking about maybe if this didn't happen, then that wouldn't have happened, it's a complete waste of your time. And you just need to realize that. Number four, which I feel like I relate to like so badly, is practicing solitude. Like, guys, I cannot put an emphasis on this enough. Like, this is literally my favorite. When you are able to step out of these situations and you are able to see that I actually am okay with okay without these people, when you are able to realize that I'm actually better off without them, when you're able to like live without them, you're no longer associated with them, you find yourself more at peace without them. It's like a life without that person is happier and it's more peaceful. And it's like, imagine if you had kept yourself in that situation, like where would you be right now? Like, you wouldn't be living the life that you are living right now. You wouldn't be in that position if you had still attached yourself to that situation. I find this like the most beautiful thing ever, because I feel like it's the aftermath of figuring your root problem. You're realizing that it wasn't meant to be and that it was a waste of your time and that you shouldn't spend your time and your attention on this thing. And like now you're finally on your own. And it's like in the beginning, it's so scary because it's like you're used to that comfort and the familiarity, but then you start to get used to your own company, you start enjoying spending time with yourself, and it's like, I'm at peace with this and I actually prefer this over the situation that I was in earlier. And you're gonna see that the people that you're gonna attract in your life are gonna be like-minded, and you're gonna be so grateful for the people in your life. You're gonna be so grateful of the things that you even get in life, and you're gonna be able to see the beauty within the blessings that the universe or God gives you. You're going to be able to receive that and be at peace with that. And you're no longer going to take those things for granted, because you're going to be surrounded by a circle that's going to make you realize the beauty of life and all of those things. So I feel like another one, which basically leads into what I was just saying, which is practicing gratitude. I feel like this is one that's like super underrated, and I feel like in this category as well. But I just feel like being grateful for whatever situation you were in, whether it was good or whether it was bad. I feel like revisiting maybe the same places that you maybe and this person used to hang out, and just being exposed to that place, or even maybe you come across their picture and you're like, you know what, this person used to be a part of my life and they used to have a place in my heart and I used to love them dearly, but you're like, I'm so grateful for the fact that they came into my life. And it's like, whether or not you treated me badly, you still turned me, and I used whatever I got from that situation to be better and not like have a victim complex. And it's like, you have to have this healthy balance of being grateful for your past, but also letting that nostalgia and that gratitude be just that. Now, there's no use in being grateful for your past, but then you're going back and you're reminiscing like 3 days in a row, and now you can't get it out of your mind, and it's just taking up 80% of your day. That's not moving forward. You need to draw the line with being at peace with your past and, you know, appreciating that nostalgia but not letting it consume you completely. I recommend watching or listening to my previous episodes of The Art of Letting Go part 1 and part 2, and also listening to like how to move on from your past self, because in that way you're able to to detach from the person that you once were and appreciating that old version of yourself. No good comes in like literally criticizing the way that you used to be, criticizing the way that you act, when it's like, that's the younger version of you, that's the way that she would have acted. And it's like, yes, maybe you've grown, and it's like, but it's like sort of like with your inner child. It's like, would you ever criticize your inner child for doing certain things? No, like you wouldn't criticize them if they were right in front of you, because they just know what they know. And yeah, I guess that's the art of detachment, you guys. Hope that you guys just take away from this and realize that detachment isn't a bad thing. And if you're gonna be maybe perceived the way that I'm perceived, then let it be. And if the people around you are not supporting you, then that goes to show as well. And yeah, this has been the episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know like what was your favorite thing that I maybe said, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.